pregnant and trapped. He cheated, lied, and threatened self-harm. This is an emotionally devastating story that goes beyond simple infidelity, revealing a catastrophic breakdown of trust compounded by manipulation, fear, and high-stakes emotional blackmail. It comes from a woman who is pregnant, alone, and struggling to choose between her safety and her perceived isolation. The issue began during her husband's 2 work trips to Sao Paulo this year for training. During the second trip, this past July, while she was already pregnant, he downloaded Tinder and purchased the premium subscription. She discovered this late one night. Her own phone had died, and she used his to play a game. An ad popped up, leading her to the Play Store. There, a peculiar points notification led her to the app responsible for the points, Tinder. When she woke him up to confront him, his first reaction was denial. He swore it wasn't him, that he didn't know how the app got there. Only after mounting pressure did he confess, claiming he only downloaded and paid for the app, but immediately felt guilty and deleted it. He then tried to rationalize the expensive gifts he brought back, a $300 wallet and $300 earrings, explaining that they were his way of coping with the guilt. She thought the gifts were a sign of love. They were in fact a down payment on his secrecy. This wasn't his first transgression. Early in their dating relationship, he had paid for a premium subscription to a known adult meeting site, The Fatal Model. While he claims there was never any physical cheating, she rightly identifies that the simple act of paying for the subscription while committed was a betrayal in itself. On top of that, he maintained contact with another woman, claiming the conversations were just, "Hi, how are you? What are you doing?" Simple filler, but conversations he actively concealed. He had promised to cut contact with this woman early in the relationship because the user felt she was a bad influence, yet he continued to hide the exchange. He's done it again. Now she is pregnant and going through the challenging first trimester alone, while he was thinking about cheating. When she tried to end the marriage, his reaction escalated into sheer terror and dangerous manipulation. He completely broke down and began to harm himself, even taking a knife and deliberately cutting his leg multiple times. He threatened to take his own life if she left him, saying he would use his job as a train engineer to do it, a horrifying threat that involves not only him, but potentially innocent lives. Out of fear for his life and the lives of others, and still harboring some love for him, she reluctantly agreed to take him back. He's now begging her not to divorce him, offering to let her hurt him, anything to stay. But when he tried to kiss her goodbye before leaving for his train route, she couldn't reciprocate. She feels pure disgust, anger, and disappointment, even as she acknowledges that love is still present. She is completely isolated, lacking close friends or family to confide in, facing motherhood with a man whose actions are frighteningly unstable. She is considering waiting until the baby is born, then divorcing him and giving him primary custody, an arrangement they had agreed upon long ago, hoping the responsibility will keep him alive. She is alone, and she doesn't know what to do. The situation you are in is terrifying, and you must understand that your primary, non-negotiable mission right now is safety and survival, not saving a marriage built on manipulation. You are being held emotionally hostage. When a partner uses threats of self-harm or violence to prevent you from leaving, that is not an expression of deep love. It is the ultimate act of control, leveraging your empathy against your freedom. Your fear for his life and the lives of others is understandable, but that responsibility is his to manage with professional help, not yours to carry by sacrificing your safety. The idea of waiting for the child's birth and giving him custody to keep him alive is a selfless act of a trauma victim, but it places your child in an inherently unstable environment. Your instinct to end the relationship is correct. Please understand you are not alone. Your child is your family, and organizations exist to help pregnant women leave situations involving emotional abuse and threats. The first step to reclaiming your life is to recognize that you are in danger and your future peace and your child's security is infinitely more valuable than protecting the fragile ego of a man who has repeatedly betrayed your trust and weaponized his instability.
Am I broken? Why nice guys get friend-zoned and struggle to commit. This story dives deep into the confusing gap between being valued as a partner and being chosen as one, a common struggle for men who find themselves perpetually categorized as husband material, but never the actual husband. It questions the difference between physical attraction and deep emotional connection, asking, what is wrong with me? Am I destined for casual relationships? It begins with the lingering shadow of a past relationship. He genuinely loved his former girlfriend, but the relationship ended because, despite being an adult, she refused to make it public to her father. Since that painful breakup, he has been left with a crushing fear, the sensation that he will never truly love or be loved again. This has created a profound difficulty in developing emotional attachment to new women. Earlier this year, he consciously decided to address this emotional detachment. He started trying to pursue women he was genuinely interested in, but the attempts always faltered. He would quickly lose interest, or the connection would fizzle due to games, manipulative behavior, or simply a lack of mutual engagement. This string of disappointments led to intense self-doubt, focusing on his physical appearance. He began thinking he was unattractive and out of shape, leading him to join the gym to improve himself. The irony is that since then, he has had no trouble at all. He started dating casually and has been successful with several women, including many who are physically more attractive than the ones he originally sought for a relationship. This is where the confusion peaks. What is wrong with me? Am I not cut out for a real relationship? The frustration is compounded by the constant, backhanded compliments he receives from women he dates casually. They often drop loaded phrases like, "You would make such a great husband," or the infamous, "I wish my boyfriend was like you," but without actually being you. This drives him crazy. He feels frustrated and deeply angry. He's resigned himself to the belief that he'll only find a partner when a rare gem appears, sticking to casual hookups, something he openly admits he dislikes. What you are experiencing is not a flaw in your fitness or your appearance. It's a misalignment between your emotional availability and your dating strategy. The gym helped you solve the attraction problem, but it did nothing for the attachment problem rooted in your first heartbreak. When women tell you you'd be a great husband, they are genuinely complimenting your potential, your stability, kindness, and maturity. But you are likely presenting these qualities in a way that feels safe, reserved, and perhaps even a little too accommodating. They see the great man, but they don't see the spark because you are emotionally checked out. You are filtering potential partners out too quickly due to a fear of commitment, which is actually a fear of rejection and pain stemming from the first girl who wouldn't choose you publicly. You are projecting the past pain onto every new interaction, ensuring that nothing lasts long enough to hurt you again. Your current strategy, casual dating you hate, is a defense mechanism that keeps your heart safe, but your soul perpetually frustrated. The answer to the question of, do I need therapy, is that anyone struggling to reconcile the fear of pain with the desire for connection should seek counseling. You are not broken. You are guarded. And that guard is protecting you from the pain you desperately want to avoid, but is simultaneously blocking the love you crave. The agonizing truth you are facing is that you are not running into a shortage of worthy partners. You are running into a deep-seated fear of history repeating itself. Your inability to fully commit is a highly effective defense against the vulnerability that caused you so much pain before. But remember this crucial insight. The capacity for deep love you displayed in your first relationship is still your greatest strength. Do not let the betrayal of a fearful ex convince you that vulnerability is a weakness. You are the great husband material because you have integrity. But until you drop the armor of casual detachment, you will only attract women who want the temporary safety of your kindness, not the challenge of your whole heart. The problem is not that you are unlovable. The problem is that you are too afraid to let someone really try. The goal is not to find a rare gem. It is to become emotionally available enough to recognize and fight for a good connection when it finally arrives.
Dating a 10-10 and sabotaging the relationship with insecurity. This final story tackles the universal paradox of feeling unworthy of the love we receive. It's about a man who is dating a woman he rates as perfect, a so-called 10-10, and the corrosive power of insecurity that threatens to destroy the very relationship he is so lucky to have. The context of their beginning makes the insecurity even more complex. His girlfriend took all the initiative. She actively pursued him, even going so far as to practically beg him to commit to the relationship. Yet, despite her undeniable passion and desire for him, he has slowly started to put her on an unattainable pedestal. He began to see himself as too ugly for her. He started making external comparisons, looking at other couples on the street and concluding that while most partners seem to match in appearance, his pairing does not. This toxic comparison game has spiraled into crippling neediness and insecurity. He openly admits, "I am sabotaging my own relationship." The cycle is clear. His mind tells him he's not good enough, and his behavior follows, creating the exact outcome he fears. The core problem here is not a lack of external validation, it's a profound lack of self-acceptance. Her girlfriend's initial pursuit wasn't a mistake. It was a clear, unambiguous statement of her desire. By obsessively focusing on his perceived flaws and comparing himself to others, he is essentially telling her, through his needy and insecure actions, "You made a mistake choosing me." This phenomenon is known as perceived unworthiness. When you receive love that exceeds your self-esteem, the subconscious mind rejects it because it doesn't align with your internal narrative. Instead of simply accepting her love as a truth about her desire, he is making it about his lack of worthiness. This leads to the very needy, controlling, or suffocating behavior that often pushes the partner away, thereby fulfilling the initial fear and proving the insecurity was justified. The answer is not to change his appearance, it's to change the script in his head. He needs to stop seeing her love as a fragile temporary gift he must desperately cling to, and start seeing it as a fact, a reality that he now must learn to live up to by becoming the confident man she saw in the first place. This relationship is not failing because of his looks, it's failing because he is acting like a hostage in his own mind. The sabotage needs to stop, and he can only stop when he accepts that his girlfriend's feelings for him are valid, regardless of what the couples on the street look like. The greatest act of love you can offer your partner right now is the courage to accept her choice. The irony of your situation is heartbreaking. The woman who actively pursued you is being driven away by the man who refuses to believe her love is real. Your insecurity is not a feature she finds endearing, it is a weight she's being forced to carry. You must stop using her beauty as a weapon against your self-worth. If you want to honor her effort, you must stop sabotaging her choice. Focus on becoming the man she chose, the man who is confident enough to be pursued. Seek help to heal the internal narrative that tells you you are unworthy. True love is not about physical symmetry, it is about emotional certainty. We've navigated some incredibly tough relationship scenarios today, from the pain of emotional blackmail to the devastation of a trusted partner's betrayal. If any of these stories resonated with you, or if you found the deep dive into trauma bonding or perceived unworthiness helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more profound relationship insights. Now, tell me in the comments below, which piece of advice gave you the biggest aha moment? And what is the one non-obvious self-preservation rule you are going to enforce in your dating life right now? Let us know.